Hey everybody, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator, and welcome to St. George, Utah. We dropped off here. Yeah, last episode we made it all the way here. We did drop off, and we've got. I don't think I put it on the GPS yet, but we've got a trip going to. The only thing going remotely north from here is this. This is going all the way to Oregon. Everything else is going south or west. We did get a notice today that the release date for Idaho is going to be. Just want to go down to Kingman. How far is that? 228 miles? 232 miles. These pay a little better. They're all going to Kingman, but this pays like $2,000 better than this one to go to Kingman. Let's go to Kingman instead of going to Oregon. We don't need to go to Oregon. But I did get a notice that, well, not me. I didn't get a notice. Everybody got a notice that Idaho will be released in July. I mean, that's a little vague. But it will be released in July. So, as always, let's make our way toward Idaho. Although, we've been making our way toward Idaho for like 2 months now. We've been on our way. So it goes. We're just driving a truck. No expectations. Just driving a truck. Man, this has been the craziest week for me. Hang on, I gotta move my mic. Yeah, there we go. A little better. This has been a crazy week for me for gaming and DLC. There's been a lot of big drops, and they occurred just at a time when I found myself kind of getting back into motorcycle sims. Well, I call them sims. They're more like games, but regardless. MXGP 19 and MotoGP 20. I've been playing a ton of those, and I also got to, in Assetto Corsa Competizione, I got done with my first sprint season. Well, I'm in championship mode, career mode, I don't know. It's really a terrible career mode, but I'm in career mode there. I got done with the sprint part, and I'm now doing the endurance part, and those races are like 2 and 3 hours long. And there's only a few of them, but they're like 2 and 3 hours long. So I have to, at some point, do, I want to say, a 3-hour race at Silverstone. And I'm kind of dreading it. I really am. It's a long time to sit in a chair. I can do like a 90-minute to 120-minute F1 race. And that's rough. But the idea of doing a 3-hour GT3 race is, yeah. So I got all that going on. And while all that is going on, F1 2020 drops. And it's really, really good. It's really good. And we're going to talk about that as we drive today. And then the AI definitely seems different, sir. Don't you dare. And then NASCAR Heat 5 dropped a couple days ago as well, which is really, that for me, that's not that big a deal. That's more of a game than a sim. I got it. I'll play it a few times. I'll set it aside. I'll never play it again. But it's just been, there's been a lot going on. And we started a new map in Farm Sim, so it's been a really good week for me as far as gaming goes. And also, I think we're out of that slump that we've been in for a couple of months in terms of like releases and new things that are happening. So we'll get turned here. I don't know how far out of town this is. We'll go 30 minutes regardless. I mean, even if we drive like half an hour just to pick this thing up, then I'll pick it up, we'll call it, and I will make the delivery off camera. Here we go. I believe this is a base game engine I have in this truck. Yeah, because all my sound packs, yeah, we won't get into that. We covered that already. But all my sound packs that I really, really loved, they were so well made, they were so good, all gone. So I want to say for ATS, yeah, I did find some other packs, but I think Mac, as a company in real life, is fairly specific about what motors will fit in this truck. I know some trucks will take anything, and other trucks will not. And so far, this truck, it seems like it really only takes the Mac MP motors, whether they are base game or modded. But yeah, it sounds really good. 1.38, I think, well, I mean, if we got a notice for Idaho, I think 1.38 is about to go full retail for ATS, unknown on the ETS side, but they're generally pretty close. And we'll see what we get for Iberia. I did hear that rumor that Iberia will not be released until 1.39 patch, and that's fine, but I'm curious. So we'll see how that all works out. And what else? Farm Sim? Yeah, I'm on Farm Sim 17, so I'm not really chasing mods and waiting for new DLC like I was in the past. And I think other than that, yeah, it's just been racing. Racing and flying. And it has been a lot of fun. Gaming's an interesting hobby to have. It's, I don't know. I don't know if there are any other hobbies where we are sort of, yeah, traffic is, I have it on 1.7, but that's the spawn rate, not the behavior. Traffic just seems different. Not necessarily bad, just different. And it could be, he wants to get over it, it could be, don't. It could be that because we have it on 1.7, the spawn rate is confusing the behavior. But I haven't adjusted the behavior at all, just the spawn rate. All right, so we'll get picked up here, we'll get loaded up, and we'll be on our way. And yeah, this thing's looking really good. I like what they've done in 1.38. I was expecting more, honestly, but I like what they've done with the SSAO. I think it looks good. It caused me to like read up on it a little bit and kind of study a little bit what SSAO is all about. This game runs on Prism 3D, I found, which is a proprietary engine created by, might not have been created by SCS, but it was created for the truck sim, like way back in the day, 18 Wheels of Steel, and they've been using it ever since. Almost 20 years. 20 years. Don't need reverse. Just need to get down to neutral. All right, here we go. We are going to pick up, and this will still be available. If not that one, there's 3 others going to Kingman. Right. Oh, that's interesting. One of them's already gone. Time flies. So we'll take this, and we'll head south. From here, where do we go? Looks like we're right over there somewhere. We go third person. Break off. Third person. Let's get back here and get picked up. And, is it, sorry, try not to throw the camera around. Is it, oh, it is. It is. Oh, SCS. You're so clever. I do like these pickups and drop-offs. I think they're really well put together. And I like that there's so many cities on the map now. On both maps, on ETS and ATS. There's so many cities. And then within every city, there are so many facilities. I feel like you really don't know what you're going to get. Just realized when we grabbed this trailer, we had this on our 48-inch sleeper that has chrome wheels. The truck we're in right now has blacked out wheels. I left the chrome wheels on the trailer. I should have swapped those over before I hooked up. Doesn't quite look right having, you know what I'm saying? Because this truck looks like it's all murdered out. Looks all gnarly. And then we got those pretty chrome rims on the back. So it goes. Let's see if we can kind of jackknife this over in one swing. We don't have a lot of room to be dicking around back here, so we got to get it in one. However, ooh, wait, what? What? That doesn't happen. Not too often. All right, so we'll set the brake. Engine is off. Let's get it loaded up. And it is 8:30 in the morning. Yep, perfect. Perfect. Man, every time I try to click down on my thumbstick to reset the camera, it's like by clicking it, I unreset it. Is that a thing? Is that a word? Yeah, it's completely unreset. You know what I meant. All right, so let's get out of here carefully. This guy. We'll flip the big 180 here. and we'll be on our way. And then up here, we're going to, yeah, we'll have to make a left because we can't make a right. Road's closed, so we'll make the left out of here and then back through the traffic circle. Okay, cool. And let's get these windows up now. It's already almost 80 degrees. And it's been really warm where I am, too. I'm in the south, and it has been warm and humid. That is a nice combo, he said sarcastically. I actually lived in the desert for a long time. I don't mind a dry heat. I do not like a wet heat. Whatever the opposite is. Moist, damp, sticky. Not a fan. Not a fan. Most people aren't. You do hear people say they like a dry heat. You never hear somebody say, "Oh, I love a lot of humidity, man." That's what I'm all about. All right. So we'll go okay, not that one. That one's closed, so it's got to be the next one. It is this one right here.
Exit now.
Here we are. All right. Let's head to, where are we going? Kingman? Kingman. The only thing I know in Kingman is a bar called Cattleman's. Seriously, that's all I know about Kingman. I know I passed it many, many times driving back and forth between Colorado and Los Angeles. All right, speed limit is 70. Here we go. And do we have a scale up here? I think we might. Let's see if we need to get weighed. Yeah, we do have a scale. Okay. Let's see if they want us to pull in here. They do. Fantastic. All right. I don't know when the Viper 389 will be updated for 1.38. It may already have been. Generally, the way I spot it is I see a workshop item come in that's like 375 meg, and I know that's it. It may be in already. I don't know. But when it gets in, we'll drive that truck again. In the meantime, we've got this. We've got our own SCS 389, Peterbilt 389. That's a nice truck. And I found, when I was looking for engines, I was saying earlier, different engines fit different trucks. I did find a Detroit Diesel Series 71 two-stroke turbo. I haven't used it yet, but I'm really curious what that sounds like. And it looks like it's a really well-made engine pack and mod. So if we can fit one of those in our 389, we can drive that at some point too and see what a two-stroke truck motor sounds like. Are those even legal anymore? Is that a legacy item? Oh, we'll see. But in the meantime, we're going to drive this Mack Anthem. I really do like it. I like all three of the Macks that we have. Right, so we're rolling. Here's what's on my mind. I watched the Rad Brad play through The Last of Us 2. And I really do, I like kind of digging into, I don't know, not game design, but gaming, maybe not as a culture. What word am I looking for? It's not just gaming that I enjoy. I like the idea of gaming and the whole process, all of it. And it's really fascinated me lately to think, you know, how far down the rabbit hole we're falling in terms of complexity and comprehensive game design, how high our expectations are, and story-driven gameplay, sometimes gameplay that is not so story-driven, and just how it all works out. And I think something that really clarified it for me is this new F1 game has the My Team, right? And that is your own team. Everybody that I know that plays the game is building their own team. Every YouTuber that I follow that plays F1 games, they are building their own team. I am building my own team. Everybody's building their own team. And it's one of those things that when you look at it, you think, why was this not a part of the game for like the past 10 years? Everybody clearly wanted this. It's almost, it doesn't make any sense that as a driver for a team, you had the responsibilities that you did in the past, such as deciding what direction R&D took for the car. It was sort of on you to get the points, to win the development points that are used to improve the car. Now that's sort of folded in there into, you know, suspend your disbelief. We're playing a video game. There needs to be more to it than just driving and then driving again. I mentioned Assetto Corsa Competizione. Their, I don't even know what to call it, career championship. It's really kind of bland and empty. All you do is drive. You practice, you qualify, you do the race, and that's it. Oh dear. Trailer stability. That's it. And I mean, on the one hand, I guess for purists, it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I don't want some kind of soap opera. I just want to drive a race car. All right, that's cool. You can skip all that other stuff. You can skip that in the F1 franchise now. You can just join a team and drive the car. You don't have to do development points if you don't want to. You don't have to develop the car. You don't have to do anything. You can just race over and over. You don't even have to do career mode. You can just do spot races. So for some people, I'm sure that's all that they want. But when I play Assetto Corsa Competizione, as good as the physics are, as good as the graphics are, as good as the racing is, the AI, it's a fantastic race sim. But really, that's all you do. You start the sim, you do practice, you qualify, you drive your race, and you're done. And then when you fire it up again, you're on to the next race. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's all you do in that sim. So seeing the way my team is working out and realizing it makes more sense from a narrative perspective in that, again, if we were just a driver for an F1 team, we wouldn't have those other responsibilities that we had in F119. The person who would have them is the owner, and the workaround that they came up with for that is in F1 2020, you are the owner and driver for a team. And they even address it very clearly in an interview and say that, you know, this hasn't happened for years. This is how it used to be in the old days. Seriously, old days, like 50 years ago. But it hasn't been the thing that people do for a long, long time. So it works, I guess is what I'm getting at. It works. But what got me thinking about it was the way that the way that we have to align what we're doing as a person playing a game and contrast that to what the person that we're representing in the game is doing. And there's a term for it in game design, and it's actually like a significant thing. That those two things need to be, they don't need to be aligned 100%, but the things that you're doing need to make sense, both as a player and as a character. And where it's sort of come up as a serious topic is The Last of Us 2.
Then turn right.
So, a couple of spoiler alerts, but I think everybody's well familiar with Last of Us 2 at this point, so I don't know, but if you're not familiar with it, I will give you like a serious spoiler alert. We just missed our damn turn. Oh, we can get turned around in Vegas here, but yep, I absolutely missed that. Damn it, man. Okay, we don't have too far to go to get flipped around. So at the end of The Last of Us, you got Joel, right? Joel and Ellie have survived this sort of zombie plague, and they are... we want to go here. Yep, we want to go here. And then right down here. All right. They've survived this zombie plague, and turns out that Ellie is immune and maybe she could be the answer to like saving humanity. And Joel, who has apparently never heard of something called the greater good, not only does he not sacrifice Ellie to these doctors in something that could possibly like save the human race, not only does he not do that, but you as Joel, you kill everybody in the hospital to rescue Ellie. And that's some pretty straightforward gameplay. All right. As far as a zombie shooter, that's some pretty straightforward gameplay. That's nothing that we're really going to raise an eyebrow at. Yeah, man, it's a zombie game. Of course you kill everybody. You kill everything. You kill all the zombies, you kill the bad guys, you kill the doctors. It's just a video game. Here's a controller. Knock yourself out. And we don't really think too much about it. But as stories have become more and more complex and characters have become more and more real and animation has got better and better and voice acting has become more and more better as well, as all of this has become, geez, I'm a hot mess today. Now we're going up here. No, we're going over here. God. Las Vegas, man.
Turn right.
All right. Now I will turn right. All right. As that's all become more real, as that has all moved toward what I think the goal is, and that goal is that we will be at some point playing a movie. We will be participating in a movie. The idea that there can be a disconnect between us as a gamer and our character as a character, I think that's becoming more of an issue. So you look at something like, I don't know, you look at something like a set of course, a competition. What's my character's motivation? Man, I don't even have a character, right? It's like saying, you know, what is Donkey Kong thinking? There was no thinking. There was no motivation. It was just pixels on a screen, right? It was strictly a technical exercise. But games are becoming more of an emotional experience. And what I'm hearing people saying about The Last of Us 2, this is the spoiler alert. If you don't know about The Last of Us 2, skip ahead a couple minutes. So, the daughter of one of the doctors that Joel killed at the end of Last of Us 1 comes back, and very early in Last of Us 2, kills Joel. Really brutal, right? In front of Ellie. And he was like a father to her. That's horrible. That's horrible to even think about. It was rough. It really was. And watching people play through the game and seeing how connected people are to these characters and seeing the comments and seeing people saying that they like actually cried when Joel got killed. We are definitely involved carefully. Okay, we're good. We're definitely involved with our video game characters at this point, at least in games like that. So the daughter of one of these doctors comes back and kills Joel, and Ellie goes on a revenge mission to find this person. And she doesn't know at first what the reason was. All she knows is that somebody killed her dad, essentially her dad. Somebody killed her dad, and she's going to go make it right by killing that person. And at first, as she's traveling, she's killing these zombie humans, right? And you can get away with that. That's why the zombies, I will not play a game with zombies in it. I think it is absolutely the laziest kind of excuse. You know, it's like making the bad guys robots so you don't get a bad rating, right? It's what Lucas did. The clone army, the droid army. It's just a cop-out. It's a cop-out. It's you can let people just mow down humanoids. Oh, but it's okay. They're not really humanoids. You know, they're just other. So, yeah. I don't like zombies as a trope. But at first, that's who Ellie is killing. She's killing zombies all across the Pacific Northwest. Then she starts killing, like, the Resistance and the WLF and the Scars. It's hard to follow. And at the end, she is flat out, like, torturing and executing people. And eventually she does confront Abby. And Abby tells her, yep, I had to kill Joel because he killed my dad. And Ellie's like, oh, well, I have to kill you because you killed my dad. And it makes a really strong statement about the cycle of revenge and the pointlessness, the futility of revenge, and how it is an endless circle and so many conflicts between individual people and between cultures all around the planet for thousands of years are all just these endless blood feuds. I need to kill you because you killed somebody that I cared about, but then after I kill you, somebody that cares about you is going to come back and kill me, and we'll just repeat that cycle for 1,000 years. So the disconnect, I guess, is that people are talking about with Last of Us 2 is that the game goes from being just kind of a straight up zombie shoot 'em up like we're used to, but then it brings in this story that gets heavier and heavier and heavier and more comprehensive, and at the end you're left asking yourself as a player, would I even do that? And that dissonance, that disconnect between what is happening in the story, who your character is on the screen, and what you're expected to do as a player is, I believe, going to lead to, in the future, more opportunities to split a story. There's going to be more endings. There, in particular, there's a scene where Ellie has to torture somebody, and it's not a cutscene. Like, you have to keep pushing the button to make her keep doing that. And that's been a real like topic of conversation with gamers and with the developers and with people that talk about games and write about games. Is that seems very specific, but it's not fun. You know, it's not. I'm sure some people thought it was a laugh riot, but you know, some people are kind of messed up in their heads. But for adults, and there are a lot of adults gaming now, and for more serious people, and there are more serious people gaming now. It's not just kid stuff. A lot of people were kind of shook by that. That's a rough thing to again even have to think about. But that a game would essentially compel you to do that. If you want to finish the level, you have to do that, and there's no out. It's really been making me think about, I guess in a way, how lucky we are as sim gamers that we don't really ever have to sort those things out. But I think it is going to be more and more of a problem in the future as games do become more compelling and more emotionally. There's going to be more and more emotional depth to games, and I'm really curious where that is headed. And it's been such an evolution for us as gamers, for me, you know, over the course of my life. Starting with console when I was a kid, you know, really simple, just again, sort of pixels moving on a screen kind of games, to things like we have now. It's really been a journey. And I imagine it's the same as people that were involved in film from, say, the 1920s to the 1950s, you know, to go from silent movies to like giant widescreen Technicolor, you know, things that weren't even possible in the early days of film, and then to have access to that within one lifetime. Right. So, yep, that's been on my mind. And like I said, it doesn't really reach out to us in SimWorld. We don't have to deal with those problems. We can create our own backstory if we want to create a backstory at all, if we want to role play at all. But for the most part, the sim gamers I know, they just do whatever it is you're doing in the sim. I was flying the P-51 Mustang the other day. I wasn't thinking about World War II. My pilot has no backstory. I just fly the plane. You know, it's just a technical exercise. And I know when people talk about, you know, how bad gaming is for you, and, you know, does gaming cause violence and some of these other things, it's really frustrating for me because I get the feeling that a lot of those people have not played a video game recently, if ever. And so they really don't know what they're talking about. I know Division 2, I guess, was the first time I really heard about people asking, like, what the hell are we doing here? And it wasn't just the characters in-game that were asking that. I heard players asking that. Like, we're just kind of walking around New York City. We're walking around Washington, D.C., heavily armed, sort of authorized. I don't know, the president's dead. You know, unelected people, things are happening. We're sort of authorized, but mostly we're just heavily armed, self-appointed, I don't know, security, something, and we're just walking around these cities executing people. And of course the explanation, the rationale is, well, they're bad people. The only way you know they're bad is by what they're wearing. And you do get dinged for killing civilians. That's not okay. You can't just indiscriminately murder people. But as far as the bad factions, yeah, you don't need to wait for them to shoot first. You don't try to take them into custody. You don't read them their rights. You can just shoot them from a distance based on what they're wearing and get money for that. And that's the first time that I've ever heard people say, wait, are we the bad guys? Who are we? And that turned into a discussion. There's even a kind of a, I don't know, it's not quite a meme, but I've seen some threads that talk about, sir? All right. I've seen some threads that talk about even the name itself, that the division is an in-joke to play on words, that we're not helping, we're not fixing anything, we are dividing. We're dividing society, we're dividing culture, we're doing more harm than good. So this is, I mean, to me, this is good stuff. And again, it's just video games. You can turn it off. So we can, it's like literature. It's like any form of art. You can go as deep as you want. You can, wow. Yeah, the AI is not doing too well right now. All right. Skin of our teeth. Skin of our teeth. I guess what I'm saying is nobody's going to be hurt by this. If game developers have gone too far in one direction or they've gone too far in another direction, if we as gamers and consumers want things to happen this way or that way, that's fine. And it's no different than saying, you know, we want these kinds of movies to be made, we want those kinds of movies to be made. I know an argument can be made, and you do hear it a lot, that gaming causes violence. I don't buy that. I just don't. I don't buy it any more than I think movies or TV or certain types of music or anything else causes violence. I think people, oh man, I try not to get heavy on the channel. I try not to talk about anything serious. This is going to be a little bit serious. Fortunately, we're getting into Kingman, so we can wrap up here. I think what causes violence is people that don't know that violence is wrong. And if they don't know that, it doesn't take a whole lot to tip the balance for them. But I think they need to know that.
Turn left.
Or not know that, sort of organically. You know what I'm saying? Bad seed. Messed up from an early age. I don't know too many healthy, happy, well-adapted teenagers that play a video game and think, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to go wild and out. That's got to be in you for a long time. It's a kind of a cart before the horse thing, you know? Right. So that's as serious as we get, and I try not to even get that serious, but it slips through sometimes. I got thoughts, man. I got thoughts. I got opinions. I just try to keep them all, you know, put away. If it's not about gaming, it doesn't belong on the channel. That's sort of about gaming. And I just realized when that pop-up was there a second ago, I just realized how low on fuel we are. I mean, we're here. We'll get dropped off, but we made it just barely. And we're at about 34 minutes. I may do a quick delivery on this. I may. All right, where is our...
Keep left, then turn left.
I think that's it right there. Is that it? Yep.
Turn left.
Yeah, let's do a quick delivery. Through here.
We are finished.
Are we up front? No, we're around the back. Okay. Oh, all right. We'll see. When we get back here, we'll see. But I imagine we'll do a quick delivery. Yeah, we're already at 35 minutes. Let's go ahead and pull up here and call it. All right, get slowed down. And there we go. We are on time. Made some money. We got some XP. We level up. Oh, so close. So close. There you have it. Thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. We'll see you next time. Take care now.